What's good? My name is Ramon.
I am Tawan.
PlayStation Now. In
Not
the
now,
building.
but right now.
We are two Xbox fanboys talking about a PlayStation service. Holla.
Carry on.
So what is the PlayStation Now, sir? This is their Gaikai technology that they acquired. Spent a pretty penny for, I suppose, and they rebranded it. And here it is. So
Gaikai.
I thought that was a dope name. I don't know what it means, but it sounds good to me. Sounds like Godzilla's sister.
Yeah.
I will rock out to that.
Well, Godzilla is asexual, so technically he wouldn't have a sister.
Okay. Well, cousin. Is that possible? Can you have a cousin?
Yeah.
Okay. Godzilla's cousin. So, PlayStation Now is Sony's... They're streaming games. So the game sits on the server, and it's piped down to your device through a decent connection, which is required.
Right.
I think this is super dope. So the connection, the data pipe they recommended, in the very least, was 5 megs down, which is on par with the average in America today.
Right.
Does not apply to us. I have 100 down.
Yeah, I have
about
like
50
120,
up.
120 down, and
It's kind of ridiculous on the East Coast. New York for the win. Because of that, because there's no physical hardware involved,
right.
the scale of supported devices is huge. So you have... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. When I say games, streaming games, there's PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 1 games.
So I can kick the shit out of someone playing that Extreme Games, ESPN.
Potentially, but let's talk. So
Yes.
you can access PlayStation Now from your PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
You can access it from your PlayStation certified tablets.
I have one of those.
No, you don't. Not a tablet. You have an Ultrabook.
I have.
I'm doing it to show the scale. So there's the Android tablets. You have a PlayStation certified Ultrabook or laptop.
I have one of those.
You have your PlayStation certified Android phones. Right?
I don't have one of
the
those.
Xperias. And then you've got your PlayStation certified TVs. Bravio TVs.
I don't have one of those.
Then you've got your Vita.
I have one of those. But
These are things that you can stream these games to. That is impressive.
yeah.
Very, very impressive. I like that. Now, when at first my whole thing about it was Sony finally solved the backward compatibility issue. Right? Which is dope. That's the promise of the cloud. This is how it should be handled going forward. This is how technology is, period. But the problem here is, like you mentioned, the 2 Extreme. See, was that a Sony game? Who owned that?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of games like that in the gray area that were great games that we all associated with PlayStation, but Sony didn't necessarily own. And this is Sony games. These are for Sony games. So far, we haven't seen any games that is available that Sony didn't own. Not to say that they can't get that deal. Like,
Get the relicense.
I'm sure they can do it, but for now, it's only Sony games. So it remains to be seen. And the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation's got such a large library.
Yeah.
It's so much, and everyone has. That was such a great era of gaming that everyone has their favorite games. Yeah. That you and like
Not
your favorite games
console.
would be so different than my favorite games.
Right.
Versus today, our favorite games are the same and nothing else.
Yeah. Battlefield.
You get what I mean? So
That is all.
well, it remains to be seen what titles we get on there. I'm really looking forward to that. How much will it cost?
You speculated 60 to 70.
Yeah, about 50 to 70 a year
For the service.
For the service, on top of a PlayStation Plus It's not going to be baked into PlayStation Plus, which is fair because you get so much on PlayStation Plus today. It's insane.
Right. You already get free games on PlayStation
Plus. You get like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, cut them a break. I think this service will be worth it.
Does this force me to buy a PlayStation? No, not really though.
No, but you can get a Vita.
I can whip out my damn Sony Ultrabook. Plug in a PlayStation controller.
Yes, a DualShock 3 controller is required. So even on the TV, for it to work on the TVs, you need a DualShock 3 controller.
There you have it.
So yeah, but see that to me is super dope. Mm-hmm. You can plug in, you can take out your laptop and play your favorite PlayStation game without ousting the money for a PlayStation. So Sony's really making PlayStation a brand as opposed to a gaming console.
Right.
I dig where that's going. And they're really threatening Steam here. Steam is looking... Uh-oh. But there is some limitations. Obviously, if bandwidth is an issue for you, PlayStation's huge outside of the US. Like take Ilias for instance, but his bandwidth over there isn't the best, and he's a huge Sony advocate, and this is something that he would be drooling at the mouth at. But the bandwidth would be a huge caveat for him. And
what are their bandwidth? What are they running?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm sure they got, but it's pricey. The problem with those countries is bandwidth is pricey.
Right.
They'll give you the bare minimum.
20 down.
No, 20 may be a lot. 20 may be the premium plan for them.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's even in here in the United States.
Heavens to Betsy.
5, like that's a real number. 5 megabytes a second is the average speed of the internet here in the United States. Which is why Google does that ambitious plan. They land fiber all over Colorado.
Colorado?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's probably like a lobbyist thing. The state governors, they're like, yeah, sure, come on, just take over our town.
They're in the mountains. I mean, then again,
it's a perfect place. They're not going to do it in New York. You know how expensive it is to do it in New York?
They will put them overhead.
Put them overhead. It's fiber, bro.
Yeah, son. Fiber always goes overhead.
No, it does not. Fiber needs to be under the ground. It's very, very fragile.
Yeah, but our fiber lines run overhead for FiOS.
Nah. They're underground.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're underground.
Maybe they are underground. What do I know? But
the band, and here's the thing with the bandwidth with this. The better the bandwidth, the better, because it's a stream. Think YouTube.
Right.
It's a YouTube video with a game, right? So the better your bandwidth, the better the game looks.
Right.
So, and here's something interesting, right? Like, yes, the bandwidth is an issue. You want to make sure, but then what are you playing this on? So you're playing. People, I didn't see it for myself, but people at CES were reporting when they played the game on the 50-inch Bravia, it looked good, but it was a little washed out. The colors weren't as if they were natively playing God of War on a PlayStation 3.
Right.
But I don't care. That's okay. You'll be nitpicking at that point, and that's silliness.
Right.
But they did notice little artifacts. They didn't get lag. They didn't get latency. So the architecture is solid, but they did notice little artifacts in the image. But then, for instance, you playing the same game on the Vita is a much smaller screen. It looks perfect.
Right. Pixel density.
Right. So it kind of depends on that. One thing is, for me, PlayStation Now may not be worth it because I'm underground a lot. I commute on a train. This requires a constant connect. There's no cache mode, right? Because all the heavy lifting is done by the server. It's not like you download a backward compatibility version. That's not what this is.
Right.
So if you're offline, no PlayStation Now for you. That may be a caveat for some people. Then you've got, let's say, the Vita has connectivity. Okay. Sony needs to strike some sort of deal with, like, say, T-Mobile, for instance, where there's an unlimited an unlimited plan you can pay to have your Vita stream, because at a 2 to 5 gig data cap on your bill, you will blow through this really quick.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a constant stream. Obviously, as we said, the stream is required. It's not cached. It's not saved.
Right.
It doesn't pick up where you left off. It's a constant stream. So
that's gonna chew through some data.
Yeah.
That is gonna chew through some data. And then for me, I think what it was probably the realest concern. Depends on where you're playing. So if you're playing on a TV, then you're fine because you've got the DualShock 3 controller.
Right.
But again, with the Vita, and there's so many of these little caveats to the Vita that it's such a great little device, but it still falls short a lot of the times. If you're playing a PlayStation 3 game, you only have the 2 shoulder buttons on the Vita. You miss the R2 and the L2.
Yeah.
Those are emulated by the touchpads on the back of the Vita. People were saying at CES that it was weird and awkward, and they could not get used to it, and they were hitting buttons by mistake. So yes, you get to play the game in its entirety, and it's an amazing thing, but the controls are off. That would remove me from the experience. And I'm not trying to find fault, but I know myself, like, controls are big for me. Right. I don't want to, I can't play a game where I'm thinking about controls. You just you do it. So this may be a big one for me. So I don't know how I feel about it, because I played Call of Duty on the Vita. It wasn't mine, but I played it on someone else's Vita, and it wasn't the best. Not because the game graphically wasn't. The thumbsticks weren't as comfortable with the shoulders. It was like I can't shoot on these.
You're still shooting with the shoulders.
Yeah, and there's no. It's just like a shoulder button. So, it's less of a complaint about the PlayStation Now, more of a complaint about the Vita. But this, I think, is, to me, the whole PlayStation 4 versus Xbox thing. This is the first real bit of innovation I've seen from Sony with the PlayStation 4 involved. This is a big one. I like this.
I agree.
I really like this.
I think anything allows backward compatibility for me to play on my Ultrabook, my Sony Ultrabook.
It's a good deal.
It's a great deal.
Oh, yeah, Street Fighters and what? Well, I don't know. That's Capcom, but.
Well, yeah,
we're gonna hope.
Yeah, just like EA, it was EA. Did EA do the Extreme Games? ESPN.
No, I don't know. I don't think that was theirs. They may have been Sony. I'm not sure.
No, that was
Acclaim.
EA. No, that was EA.
It was EA that did Extreme
Games. So, I can hook up a controller into the Sony.
Right.
So it's seamless for me. I can go for that because that will be the only piece of PlayStation anything that I purchase. So
I think it's dope, man. Kudos to Sony for this one.
How much are games? Or are you paying for the service? So are they assuming that it's free? Or
that's a good question.
Because you're paying for the service, the option to stream games. How much are the games? Like,
are the games included or not? I didn't. That's why I speculated, because I didn't see. They didn't say much about that, and now I see why they wouldn't, because that's a decision to be made.
Yeah, I think that Sony games should be free.
Right.
I think that,
and then the other ones, okay,
yeah,
that'd be a good method.
Pay for you. You want your Capcom games, you want your Street Fighters, you want your Midway games, you want your Mortal Kombat, so on and so forth. Pay for it. I'm sure there'll be less. Whatever.
Yeah.
All you're doing is paying for access on-demand video games.
Dopeness. Good job, Sony. Holla at us in the comments, man. Are you looking forward to some PlayStation Now? What game would you play? What's your number one gotta have game? From PlayStation 3, 2, and 1.
Son, 1, Extreme Games.
Okay. You went on about this a lot.
Son, that game consumed me. Alright? It's nothing like mass mayhem, moving fast, and kicking people off of things. And 2 was just as good. I
Sounds
need
like
an
my
emulator.
Subway ride to work every day.
Yeah, I need an emulator with I can get that game.
Well, let's play some faith in Sony here. I'm going for Final Fantasy Tactics. I have no shame. I will buy that game again, and again. Don't care.
I've never played that.
I don't think you would like it, sir. It's real nerd shit.
Yeah. Like World of Warcraft.
No, not that quite nerd shit.
Oh.
That's geek shit.
Yeah.
I think this is different. That's don't go to sleep or shower
Because you might miss something.
Yeah, I missed something. Goddamn it. Hit us in the comments, man. Let us know where you at. Anything we miss? Any limitations we miss? I think it's a good service.
I agree.
Ramon,
Tawan.
we out of here, man.
Peace.